Hey YouTubers, it's springtime here in New York, and it's time to start getting things ready for this season. And we actually started last fall with putting down wood chips on the paths and in the upper beds, and putting in some chopped up leaves in the lower beds to keep the weeds down. Weed control is a very, very big thing when you have this many beds. About the end of March, the first week of April, I put down pre-emergent weed killer. If you wait too long, if you wait till you start seeing weeds, it's too late and you're going to have them in your lawn. So that's best to do that early. You can also do that again in late September, and that'll help with keeping the weeds down in the lawn. When I put down the pre-emergent fertilizer, I also put on some regular fertilizer, and I also put on some lime. And the grass is greening up pretty well. It's looking halfway decent already in just a couple of weeks. One of the first things we did was to start picking up sticks, getting everything off the grass. I set up this cart to do that, picking them up, chopping them up. Have lopping shears, a couple rakes so you can pick up some extra leaves, pruning shears, and a bow saw. This works out very well. So it makes quick work. You want to get all that stuff up before you start cutting the lawn. I'm going to go over the cart just in case there's any questions on it. These clips I had, they were actually from a piece that I had left over from a pool stick bracket that I had on the wall, which I wasn't using anymore. So I just drilled some holes, self-tapping screws, and just put them in, and they hold on there pretty good. These were just eye hooks that I bent, nut on each side, nut and washer on each side. Just compress those. I just have a pair of small shears, lopping shears, a small rake, and just hold some of these things on. You can either use hooks or you can use little bungees. So that's how I did that. Works out well, and you can use the cart for other things, of course. I just if I'm going to be picking up sticks all day long, I don't want to keep dropping the tools, putting the tools down, losing them inside the barrel. They're all in place where I need them, and I keep the barrel on with the bungee cord. I find it very, very handy. Used a small one to get sticks out of bushes up in the ivy, just flipping them out so I can get them a little bit closer. It saves on my back from bending over. Really nice to have all that. Another thing you want to do is start doing any repair work. You want to fix or replace any other sprinklers that have been broken, that got run over or taken off by the plow, or you knocked over during snow season. Also start repairing some of the parts of the lawn. You can see the pathway from when I was driving the tractor up when I put the chips in last fall. And also my wife drives up here with the car to put my grandson to bed. She goes in that door over there. And in those pathways, the grass got a little bit beaten up. I also had some field mice that were running around loose underneath the snow and destroying the grass over there. What I do for that is I actually start watering those bare spots. So every day I come out and I water them, and they will recover. I've got spots up there on the upper level too from driving the tractor, and I found that was the best way to start early on it. The water sinks into the soil, softens it up. The grass looks for the moisture and starts sending out new roots, and then starts setting up new blades. So that's part of the repair work. After you've been in your home for a while, your shrubs start to get pretty large, and your original beds may need to be expanded. So that's what we did over here. I moved this bed out about 6 feet out over to here, and this one I moved about 3.5 to 4 feet on this side over here. And we transplanted my wife's rose bushes and some peonies and a bunch of other things. Just gave us more room. But now I'm going to have the problem, I'm going to have to start weeding this. So this fall I'm going to be putting in more chopped up leaves and filling this up just to keep the weeds down. But as your property grows, you have to make changes. You have to move shrubs down, give them more room to breathe. They get overgrown, so you have to change things around a little bit. I had one sprinkler over here that was 4 feet in. I had to move it out into the lawn so it waters the lawn. Part of getting things ready for the springtime is to take care of your lawnmower or mowing deck. With this, I took off the blades. I had them sharpened, and before I put them back on, I wanted to scrape off any debris that was on there, any loose paint. I wanted to scrape that down, wire brush it off, and get it down smooth, take off any flakes. And right now I have the primer on. I'm going to be spraying that with the Kubota orange paint, getting that ready, and then I'll put the blades back on, flip it over, and we'll put it on the tractor. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be turning on the sprinklers. That there is a hose station that I have up in one of the beds up here by the shed. I can do watering with that. I have that connected to the sprinkler system. It's not on its own zone. It's straight pipe. Once the line is charged, just have a T that brings that water up to here. Have a shut off down the bottom. And I'll show you how that's connected in the pit. This is how I have the shut off set up for the watering station up here by the shed. As you can see, I just have the PVC that comes up from the irrigation line, and I just have a gate valve on that, which I can shut off and turn on and off. There's another view of the watering station I have up here. It's far away from where the spigot is that comes out of the house. So when I had them put in the sprinklers, I had them put this in also. And that's worked out very well. I made up other watering stations from where the hose was. I didn't want to lay it on the ground, and I wanted something that looked a little bit nicer. So I made these up. It was all wood that I had. This is from the decking from over there. And on the post, I had some aluminum flashing. I just wrapped it around the sides of it and then tacked it in the back so you don't see that where the nails are. I made a little bit of an overhang on top. So if you want to take off the nozzle, you can just put it right on top of that. I've got another one on the side of the house also, and I also have one up by the shed up there. Each one of them have, I believe it's 75 feet of hose, so I can reach just about anything here on the property. I'm going to show you the tee that I have for that watering station. Everything else is on zones. And this one right here is just a tee off the main line. You can see it over here. Just tees right off. So this, once you charge the sprinkler system, this is charged all season long. And you can have water wherever you want to have it in your backyard. It's a good idea if you want water up to your shed and you have a sprinkler system. Put one of these in when you either do it yourself or when you have the system put in. Just ask them to put a T in and run an extra line up to where you want it. It's very, very handy. I like that a lot. Another thing that I did, we had I believe we got hit by lightning, and the wires got toasted, and the timer got toasted. So when I had to dig up the line all the way from over there, all the way down and in here, I decided to put in this armor coating that goes all the way into the basement, and then the wires come out of there. So if it ever happens again, I could just feed the wires from the basement and pull them through. I actually have extra wires here. I believe each one of these wires has either 8 or 10 strands on it. So I've got extra in case it happens again. I can use those, but this protects it, okay, and from the elements, from shovels, anything like that, digging it up. And also you can feed in new line if you need to. One more tip: you don't want to set up your zones just in straight runs and have everything on the same line. If you're going to put in a sprinkler system, you want to have your zones separated by sun and shade. As you can see here, I get a lot of sun over here, and I don't want to be watering the shade areas with a lot of water. All those plants will rot. I have my timer set to water this once a week, and I have it set to water this about every 2 days or so, maybe 3 days. And in the summertime, I sometimes have to water twice a day just to keep it from burning up. You want to keep them separate, and if you're doing your own lawn sprinkler system, set it up for the zones, each one of the zones for sun, and different from the zones for shade, because you want to water them totally different. I hope this video has been helpful and gave you some ideas on how to do a few things, and maybe gave you a couple projects. Have a good day.